Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Graham Hargraves. I'm going to be moderating this webinar this morning. Thank you all for joining. Even my secretary over here decided to join. I can't get him to leave the room, so I hope he doesn't bark. Today, we're going to be talking about CAM Assist and Mastercam. Really cool new product that we just picked up a month or two ago. So in the webinar, we're going to kind of go through an intro overview. Then we'll jump into a CAM Assist demo with Rob. Then we'll do some Q&A and a closer at the end. Just a few pieces of housekeeping. This is scheduled for an hour, but it's kind of funny because programming on CAM Assist is so fast. This might be quicker than an hour, and I don't think anyone would really complain about that. But we do have ample time for questions and answers. So make sure to certainly type in those questions, and we'll make sure that we address them all, providing they're appropriate. And then a follow-up, we're recording this right now, full disclosure there. We're going to be just seeing who's interested in CAM Assist. So we'll send an email out, kind of a thank you email later today or tomorrow with some more instructions and probably include PowerPoint with it. Please make sure you're muted and turn your camera off. We do have the ability to mute people. We know that there's ambient sounds, around you if you're in the office or at home or have a dog sitting over here like I do. So just please be mindful of that. So here are the people that are going to be kind of talking and moderating and helping out today. We have Todd from CloudNC. We have Rob from CAD-CAM Consulting, myself, Josh as well from our company, and then David. So thank you guys for joining us. It's always nice to do a webinar like this and have the corporate folks join in. So if you don't know, I'm going to kind of go through who we are as a company. We've been around since 1993. We've served Southern California and surrounding areas with additive, subtractive, inspection software and hardware solutions. I'll run through those products right now. From the additive side, we represent Desktop Metal and Robos. Subtractive, CAM Assist, obviously. We're here to talk about that today. We have Simco, Mastercam, Mold Plus, and Vericut. On the inspection side, we also sell Verisurf. Being around since 1993, a lot of our employees have been around exactly that long, which is a testament to their skills and dedication. We have 3 offices. One is in Anaheim. Our corporate office is in Newbury Park, and we have one in San Diego that we opened a few years ago. With that experience, we do at this company have a vast knowledge of the local manufacturing landscape. We know the companies, we know the players, we know the partners. So we have a pretty good snapshot of what's going on out there, and it helps us do business and help you folks out as well. In all those locations, we have on-site training throughout the year for mill, lathe, and multi-axis. We also offer an online training option, which is kind of hybrid, and it's really neat because, yes, it's online video training, but you have access to our instructors as they're giving you courseware and homework assignments. You can reach them on email, phone, and we operate through Slack. There's weekly meetings. So it's got a true hybrid feel instead of just kind of giving you a bunch of videos and letting you figure it out. So to kind of sum up, we do know the local manufacturing community, and it is truly our company goal to make your business successful. If you follow us on social media, you've kind of probably seen this closed loop manufacturing theme that we've been putting out there recently. It's really the process of moving a singular part file through an entire manufacturing cycle from art to part. And it is done in an efficient way, and it's really real world tested. I'll get into the real world aspect in a moment with this putter right here. So one of the projects we did was the putter head. We took an existing putter and we reverse engineered it with Verisurf. Then we 3D printed it with with desktop metal and stainless. And because it needed to be held in a unique manner, we used carbon peak with Robos to print that. We do have a desktop metal machine and a Robos machine in our Anaheim office. You're more than welcome to stop by and take a look at them at any time. Just let us know. Then the CNC programming side, obviously this was programmed in Mastercam. A lot of finishing on this since it was 3D printed. CAM assist as well. Then we want to make sure that you're not going to crash the machine and you know exactly what that code is going to do with the machine. So we have Vericut for true G-code simulation. When it's on the machine, you might need to add in some probing routines. We introduced Simco with that. And then when the part's done, you need to inspect it to make sure everything is good to go. We do offer all of these products. And to prove that this is a real world example, we did slap a shaft on this thing and take it out golfing this past summer when I was out there. So didn't improve my golf game, but the putter is really nice. One of the things that's interesting is a lot of golf companies, I think specifically Cobra, are 3D printing a lot of clubs now. If you're a golf fan, you notice Bryson DeChambeau has 3D printed irons now. So it's just a testament to what this technology can do. I'm going to pass it off to the CloudNC folks now to talk a little bit about what they do. So when you guys start, just let me know when you need me to advance the slide.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Graham. Hi, everyone. I'm Todd Dahlquist with CloudNC. I'll give you a little overview of the company, who we are, why we made CAM Assist, the product. We're founded back in 2015, so next year will be 10 years for us. These are our two founders here on the right side. We have Theo, Chris on the left. Really, the idea of the company came from, I'd say, more maybe Theo's side. He was more into 3D printing and started running into some of the limitations that come with 3D printing, and that really drove him to go into CNC manufacturing. But he had a rude awakening when he made that transition, and he was just really surprised by how much more difficult it was from the programming side and using the CNC machine. So that was kind of the seed of how everything started. As you can see in the pictures there, that's actually from our factory over in London, where we're headquartered. It's looking a bit sparse in the bottom left photo there. That was back when we first started. We have many more machines in there today. But something that's interesting about us, we're not just a software company. We actually have our own factory ourselves. So we use CAM Assist ourselves in the factory, right? So we're really in the shoes of the customers and feel the same pain points that you do from that perspective. So we're using CAM Assist to help us overcome some of those issues. And then we also take learnings that we have from using CAM Assist to drive to better improve CAM Assist over time. Next slide.
Yep.
And again, we've been around for almost 10 years now. CAM Assist itself, we've been working on for about 7 years. At this point, we have over 1 million lines of proprietary code. It's built by a world-class team. We have about 70 or so software engineers on our team. And at this point, we have over 100 cumulative man years of R&D that went into creating and improving this over time. Next slide, please. And so is it just that, CNC manufacturing is difficult? That's not the whole story, right? I think you can go into any factory around the world these days, and one of the first things that people are going to tell you is that they're having difficulty finding new people. And, we can see here with that statistic that over the next 15 years, 50% of the people in our industry are going to be retiring. And on top of that, we also have demand growing substantially. Next slide. And this graph really puts that into perspective where, we can see where we're at today, and then the grayer trend line there on the top, that's the expected output that will be demanded in our industry by 2030. And then you can see, the ability for the industry to output at the status quo on the bottom one there. So you can see that gap is just huge there. So we need something as an industry to be able to fill that. And with CAM Assist, this is going to help you be able to do more with what you have today, right? It's not meant to replace anyone. This is filling that output shortage gap that we have. We'll show you in the product here, but we call it CAM Assist for a reason. It's going to get you 70, 80, 90% of the way there, depending on the part. But it's not, we don't call it CAM perfection, right? Or CAM perfect. It's not going to get you 100% of the way there. It's going to do a lot of that heavy lifting of the grunt work up front, and then you can go back in, fine tune everything yourself with full editability on the backside. So yeah, that's a bit of an overview. With that, I'll pass it back over.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, right now I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to let Rob jump in and show you a few different parts and really what CAM Assist can do.
All righty. I'm going to turn off my camera. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate you guys showing up. I was told that the coffee and donuts are in the back of the room, so help yourself. And let me get going here. I'm going to walk through how easy it is to use CAM Assist, but there are some things that you have to do in Mastercam to get started. So, of course, I need to pick a machine, so let's get in there. I'll just pick a default. You do have to do an initial setup, which would be normal for you guys in Mastercam. I'm going to select my master model, and I'm going to build a, hold on, I'm going to build a bounding box on this guy. So we'll use this for our stock. Work holding. If I bring in my fixturing, that'll all come downstream from for the simulation purposes, but it also can be used in the avoidance region. So let me grab that, and let me tell it to bring in all that. Okay, so tools you can bring in your tool libraries, but that's really all it needs is the stock and the master model, and of course possibly the fixturing. So I'm going to bounce into the CAM Assist. When you have the pull down, you have your my account, which is linked to your My Mastercam. There's full documentation, some really good documentation. I was going through it a little bit this morning as well. You can download the tutorials, get an idea of different features throughout the product. It's pretty well laid out. Let me bounce back into Mastercam here. You have some demo parts that get installed, and you got your feedback and support with CAM Assist. So now that my stock is selected, my part's selected, let's go into CAM Assist. And it's going to save my file. All right. So with this, I've got this part. Obviously, there's some 2D features in here. There's some 3D features in here. So really, when I go through this, it's just answering a few questions. You can import in tool libraries. However, you do have, it's looking at the wrong folder. You do have some tool libraries that get installed. Did you say something, Graham?
Nope. Keep going.
Okay. We have the ability to do this as a 3-axis or 3+2. This particular part I'm going to do as a 3-axis, and I'm going to come from the top. And then we also have some avoidance geometries. I selected this vice jaw and this vice jaw to avoid. for the work holding, this is interesting because you can tell it, how secure do you have your setup. Now, obviously, this is pretty secure setup. However, if I do lower this selection down here to more of a poor work holding, notice how it also changed the largest tool available. So for instance, I may not want to try to stuff a 3/4 inch end mill in here. I may want my biggest tool to be 3/8, for instance. As far as the tool use, again, I'm looking at the CAM Assist tool library. You have a lot of good feedback, basically on cutting parameters, how's the tool going to be used? What is your biggest concern? Do you want productivity, so it's going to be more aggressive? Are you worried about tool life? Those kind of things. And, maybe you just put it in the middle. And I'll show you after the fact how I can make adjustments to that as well. One thing that I did overlook here, you have different materials. And these are looks like 5 different materials that we can calculate off of. This part's aluminum. And then we'll just bounce over to the advanced settings. So this is where all the magic happens. If you're going to do a facing operation, my stock, I already have the stock to size, but I turn on my facing, my roughing. If I want to get into more detailed roughing, and notice when I hover over these features, I get some documentation on the right. We're going to finish the part. We have our hole making. We want to do some spot drilling. Couple of things. This was just added in the latest release to do basic tapping. So it should look at the size of the drill size, and if for instance, if it's 201 or 207, should pull in like a 1/4 20 tap. Machine full. We're going to machine the full part. If I turn that off, then I can select the faces that I want to machine. Stock to leave. And then how do I want to do the finishing? We'll do the 2D area mill for the floors, waterline for the freeform, although it can be hybrid. And we're going to use a ball end mill. So really, not a whole lot of work on my part. I'm going to go ahead and hit the check mark here and let it process. So I'm literally handing this job off to CAM Assist. And, some of the guys, I've shown this before, and a lot of customers are like, God, I'm worried it's going to take my job. It's not going to take your job. What it's going to do is assist you in your programming. And as you can see the toolpaths being created right now, that quickly. And now it's telling me that I should simulate the operations. I'm going to hit OK. In this window here, it's going to ask me, do I want to see a cycle time estimate report for this part? I can go ahead and say yes to this, or no, I can come back and run it through. I'm going to say no at this point. And then I'll show you another place where you can do it. This is Mastercam's warning. It's checking against the tool in the tool holder. And now it's in Mastercam's control. So now it's back to Mastercam. It's doing all the threading. Keep in mind that CAM Assist is very stock model heavy. You can see that just kind of run through. Here's my initial stock. Here's my 3D toolpath. There's the roughing operations there. And if we go with the assumption that, hey, this is just an assistant, he just programmed all of these operations within a matter of a few minutes. You're not held hostage to it anymore. You're back in Mastercam. I can come back in here and pick my parameters, make adjustments if need be. But as you can see, it did a lot of the heavy lifting. It picked all of my my surfaces to machine, it patched holes and used those. I have avoidance geometry, and it also understood my fixture when I brought the fixture in. Other than that, let's go through a couple of these other operations. You can see here's my floor finishing. Here's my contours, my hole making. I'll get down in there, some of the hole making, the drilling. Now let's take a look at the freeform. So it did do a water line. Remember, I had hybrid and water line as an option, but there's nothing to stop me from coming back into these parameters, switching this over to, let's say, raster, and go with a tighter step over and maybe 90 degrees. And I'll apply that. Again, you're back in Mastercam. You can make those decisions. Again, that may be a better solution. But what I didn't have to do was select all of the geometry. Again, it's assisting me throughout the process here. So I just made that change. And of course, let's just run that guy through verify. So we turn off a couple of things here. And we'll run through. The water line seemed to work really well here. I liked it because it forced it to climb cut the whole way. And there you have it. Okay. Now, another nice feature about CAM Assist is if I right click down here, I have these cutting parameter, this cutting parameter explorer, which has all of my operations, or I'm just going to close that. Or if I right click on the operation itself, I can just jump right into this. Oh. It should have jumped in. Let me try that one more time. Something bounced open. Okay. All right, let's just pick it. So one of the things that I can also do on the back end, which I like about this, is I can adjust, we can adjust the depth of cut. We can adjust, I'm sorry. We can remember that increased tool life and increased productivity. I can slide that down here or slide that back up to increase productivity. These I'm not changing. I'm in inch mode, but as I hover over these, it will give me the metric output. I'm gonna just kind of slide this over to increase tool life. We have chip load settings, a lot of information coming back to me about how this tool is making the cut. We go over to the material. Remember, I just selected aluminum, but now I can specify, hey, this is actually 7075. And we have our machine with RPM, max spindle speed. It's bringing in the machine definition. I just took the default. The tool that it's using for this operation. And you can go into more detail if you need to. Is this a chip breaker? Is there a helix angle that I know more about that tool? I can start applying it. And then the application, again, work holding security. This one's excellent, so we'll just go for that. And then when I save the operation, it actually updated this. But what's nice about it is I didn't have to regenerate it inside of Mastercam and it didn't make this operation dirty. It just made the changes. And the benefit of that is it didn't dirty my stock models after the fact. So, so that's kind of a nice little feature. Again, it shines really well with 2D parts like this, but as you can see, it can handle 3D operations as well. I'm going to open up another file here, and I'm going to do this 3+2 to kind of give you guys an idea how it handles indexing as well. So a couple of weeks ago, I was at Haas Automation, and I was showing this basically in the parking lot. So, so a couple of things that you should be aware of is obviously I need an internet connection to access CAM Assist. Now I did this in a parking lot, so I was literally able to just hotspot my phone. So it wasn't like I needed high-speed internet connection. I just needed that connection to go out and come back into Mastercam. It was done at Haas, and I'll just kind of go through the setup here. I basically just picked a VF4 machine. I have my master model already set up. I have my stock already set up. Work holding. And for simulation purposes, I'm using my post that also has simulation tied to it. So I'm using, pretty much everything here that I would need to get a successful part. So let's go back into CAM Assist. And this time I'm going to switch this over to 3+2. I'll leave this as aligned to X, Y, and Z axis. However, you can set it to user defined. And there is this automatic. However, it looks like you have to, it's in beta testing right now. So reach out to the people to get set up for the beta testing. Again, I'm going to come in here with my work holding. Just kind of slide this down to, say, about a 1/2-inch tool, and everything else is selected. Same kind of thing with the tool use and advanced settings. I'm not changing anything. The only other thing that I wanted to talk about that I didn't mention in the last on the last part is the toolpath generation. This is actually nice. It's when this first came out, it automatically generated the toolpaths, but now I can tell it to not generate the toolpaths and let me decide when I generate the toolpaths. That way I can swap out stock models before it generates the toolpaths. So that's kind of a nice feature. I'm going to hit the check mark here, and again, we'll just run this through. And this is obviously more of a complicated part. It's, we've got 5 sides to machine. Once it processes, once your assistant program, is looking at the part and he's basically evaluating it, again, as quick as these toolpaths come back, you have full control of making your edits and letting it do all the heavy lifting and again, grunt work there. Another added benefit while this is calculating, obviously this would be a great tool for you to get time estimates. So, if you're looking to bid on jobs and you just want to get a pretty close run time or what it's going to take to make that part, including all the tools that would probably be needed to make the part. Of course, you'd have to order, you may have to order ahead of time. We can get all of that information now. And, while you're making that order, for material. And you know what, I'm going to hit yes to this. So while you're making that order, for all the material and all the tools, and you've already decided, you find out when this comes back, it should give me the estimated time. You have a lot more information at your fingertips to make a successful quote for a job without having to spend a week trying to figure it out. And the other added benefit is 80% of the program is already programmed. You just need to go in there and make some tweaks. So here's the estimator. It looks like it is taking about 16 minutes, 14 seconds to manufacture that part. You can come in here and export your this into a document. Not only that, I can tell it, you know what, I got to make an estimate of 25 of these parts. And also, how long does it take to set this part up? Maybe it's in seconds. Maybe you got to take the old part off. You got to clean off the chuck jaws. Let's say it's 120 seconds. So 2 minutes for each part. So again, you have some really good information coming right back to you within minutes. I'm just going to X out of that. Okay. And let's see how well it did here. Let's just go back into verify. Let's let it all load. Okay. I'm going to just run this in simulation mode here. Let's get rid of the machine housing. And we'll just kind of slow that down a little bit. And while this is running, I'll kind of just talk about, I'll come back to it when this is done, but I don't know if you happen to notice in the toolpath manager how well it laid out your operations. It had all the roughing in one in a folder. It has the hole making, it has the finishing. All of that is nicely laid out. So if I see something in simulation that I want to tweak, like maybe the hole making, I can just bounce right back into that and see in the toolpath manager, where that operation is very quickly. So CAM Assist is really good at housekeeping, something that not a lot of us are, right? We just kind of have all our toolpaths scattered everywhere. Well, there we go. Let's compare it to the workpiece. And it looks pretty good. And what I was just talking about, how it's laid out, obviously, here's my floors, the contouring. So here's a floor, you can see it here. Walls, all the hole making. I can move this around because remember, now I'm just back in the Mastercam, just doing my own thing. So within a matter of minutes, literally 52 operations were done. Again, you're gonna come back and make the final tweaks, but maybe you're not happy with how close those rapids are. Maybe you want a little bit more lift on the retract. It's up to you. It's all yours now. So there you have it. One other thing, you have the cycle time estimator here. the cycle time estimator can be run. It does process all of the parts, but what you can do with the cycle time estimator is you can bring in a whole folder of parts, and I believe it's up to like 10 parts. So if you have a folder of jobs that you want to just get an estimation of how long it's going to take, you can open up that folder and then go to the folder and then select up to like 10 files that you want it to process through. So, and again, you have the export when it's all done. I think that's all I've got, Graham. I don't think I missed anything. So,
No, that was excellent. Thank you.
all right, I'm gonna stop sharing
All right.
and hand it back to you.
I will take control again. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, just click on that chat button and write them in. Make sure that chat window is open. So now we're just going to kind of recap. CAM Assist is a true assistant to your CNC programming. You can program parts in minutes. You just saw it. I think one of the other things that I don't think Rob mentioned was when he's demoing this, he just turns it over to the programmer that he's talking to. Just say, hey, you try it out, you do it. And it's truly that simple. So, you're going to save up a lot of programming time on the front end. They're estimating up to 1,000 hours a year that you can save as a shop. Of course, that would vary per application, but those are impressive numbers. You can keep your policies, your procedures, and tweak those strategies from what CAM Assist spits out. So that just goes to show that is a true assistant. It's also a good way to train new employees. Todd talked about the skills gap and what some call the silver tsunami. A lot of people are about to head into retirement. If you have someone that's coming in that is truly green, this is a great way to kind of show them how you can program parts and teach them on the job. And with that estimator, you can have more quotes out there with the cycle time estimate. So this is in a secure cloud environment. They use AWS. Internet is required for this product. It is crunching trillions of options when it's programming these parts at one time. So that would be a lot to rely on your computing power. So that's why it is in the cloud in a secure environment. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. It works for 3-axis and 3+2, as Rob showed you. I just wanted to throw up our contact information again. We will share this information later. You can find us at www.cad-cam.com. I encourage you to go down to the footer of the website, sign up for our newsletter. You can find CloudNC at cloudnc.com/cam-assist. If you have any questions outside of the chat, I see one coming in here. We'll address that in a moment. You can reach out to marketing@cad-cam.com if you want a demo, or we do have a forum on our website. It's kind of hidden under the Mastercam page under additional products. You can find that there. You can find both of our companies on all your popular social medias. And then we're going to take the recording of this webinar today and put it on our YouTube page. We just launched a new channel called CAD-CAM TV. It's going to basically have all of our experts at our company producing videos on a weekly basis that will give you just free tips and tricks for all the products we offer, really aimed at helping you be more productive. This is live right now. If you go up to our YouTube page and look at the playlist CAD-CAM TV, there's 5 videos up there. So take a look. They're all Mastercam videos right now, but we have some more coming. Like I said, they're going to be, they could be short, a couple of minutes. They could be, maybe a little over 5 minutes, but they're all they're all based off of frequently asked questions that our tech support people get. So those are certainly helpful. And then, of course, this webinar and all of our future webinars are going to be up on that channel as well. Speaking of future webinars, we have one coming up next month for Mastercam Deburr. That'll be December 10th at 9 a.m. We will be sending invites out soon, probably in the next week or so. And, you know, all these are really going to be focused on that closed loop manufacturing concept and how these things fit into that I mentioned earlier in this webinar. So I'm going to go to questions now. Feel free to type them in. First question that we have is, and whoever wants to chime in and answer this one can. Do you have all the machining operations available, for example, like multi-axis, or will it only work with the machining operations available? Also, do we have an actual tooling assembly like holder and end mill for it to generate the tool paths? Is this an add-on? And if so, what would be the starting price point? And will this work with all versions of Mastercam? So I can answer this. It's a third-party add-on. It is $5,000. And this is really only with current versions of Mastercam. Todd or David, I believe you can answer this. It works with 2024 and 2025.
Yeah, that's right. 2024 and 2025, and works in both Mastercam Mill and Mastercam Mill 3D as well. So depending on the tier of Mastercam you have, it's going to generate toolpath output based on that version.
Perfect. Yes, that is $5,000 a year to answer that question. So going back to that first question, did anyone have a response to that? You can pop open the chat and read it quickly if you'd like. All machining operations available, for example, like multi-axis. So I think, David, you kind of answered that question there.
Yeah, that's right. So, go ahead, Rob.
No, go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think I answered part of that in terms of, you know, which version of Mastercam do you have, and it's going to create toolpaths based on that. Currently, we support 3-axis milling as well as 3+2 positional work, and depending on how you're asking that part to index in terms of selecting your machining directions, we can also support, like having 4th axis, like a rotary on a vertical or a horizontal, for example, as well. To your point about tool assemblies, yeah, you do need to have a tool library that's well defined with tooling assemblies. So a cutter and a holder, Mastercam and CAM Assist, in order to work together, need to be able to see that in your tool set, in your tool library. So yeah, and to that point, I would say your tool library really is one of the most important inputs into CAM Assist to make sure that we have those tooled assemblies well defined, but also have the tooling options needed to machine that part complete. So the right tools with the right gauge length and so forth.
Awesome, thank you. So this is not to support true 5-axis toolpaths, not at this point.
Not simultaneous 5 right now. So that's the goal down the road. Simultaneous 5 is a tougher nut to crack, unfortunately. For the time being, it's 3-axis and 3+2. And in the future, we'll be supporting 2-axis turning, multi-axis. That's a ways off yet, though. So just those two for now.
Also, to that multi-axis point, is obviously it'll do a lot of the roughing, the 3+2 work. There's nothing to stop you from coming back with your multi-axis license, because you're back in Mastercam and apply the toolpaths where needed. So so you can focus more on your multi-axis toolpaths, because this one already handled all of the other stuff that's just, tedious work. So again, you're not held hostage. Once you have it back, you can do whatever you need to do inside of Mastercam to finish up the part.
So, thank you. It's interesting. I did have some canned questions, and they're all being asked, so that's a good thing. Next one. is being cloud-based, how does government and aerospace confidentiality play into using this with customer solid models?
Right. So right now we're using AWS. We'll be offering AWS GovCloud in the future in order to provide a secure environment for those highly regulated industries. Todd, I don't know if you want to chime in there on kind of what our timeline is surrounding that.
Yeah, it should be ready by the end of the year here. And again, yeah, I mean, the standard AWS cloud that we use today, of course, it's secure, but then using the Gov Cloud that's compliant with ITAR, so that'll have you covered on that side of things. But again, yeah, should be ready within the end of the year. With Gov Cloud, there is an additional $1,000 a year on top of the standard pricing. However, if you want to move forward before GovCloud goes live, you could lock in that price by placing your order today, and you could either get started now or you could have a deferred start date if you want to take advantage of that early.
Awesome, thank you. I can answer this next one. If we need support, is support provided through CCCS or CloudNC? We are here to definitely support this product. It's just kind of how Mastercam works and all the other products that we resell. So we're your front line for support here. Next question, is it 5,000 for one license or for the total amount of licenses on the account? I believe that is per license, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's per license. Basically, it's connected to the My Mastercam email account, and yeah, so it's connected with that one-to-one relationship.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Seems like questions are slowing down a little bit. Those are really good questions. They're very common. Like I said, I kind of had these written down so I could fill in some space, but I didn't need to. So I appreciate the folks on the call for chiming in. I'll give it another minute, and other than that, I think we are good to go. If you folks have any questions, feel free to call us, contact us at marketing@cad-cam.com, and we will go from there. Last question, any plans for the future with Lathe?
Yeah, the short answer is yes, Josh. In terms of exact timeline, hard to say. I think we're hoping for somewhere in 2025 to be kind of starting off with two-axis lathe and then and building out from there. So lots of exciting things in the pipeline just in terms of how the product is going to evolve over time. I think it was mentioned earlier by Todd, we've got a large dev team and they're waking up every morning to kind of build out those new features and, help solve more of those problems. So great question. And yeah, be on the lookout for that in the coming months.
Perfect. Okay. Last comment was thank you for a great presentation. I want to thank my co-presenters here for helping me out and being able to put this out there. A good amount of people showed up today. So we'll let you know when this recording is available. We will send out a kind of post-event email and wrap up and kind of see if you're interested in us contacting you. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for your presentation and technical knowledge above mine. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.